The scariest lightweights run to the title. Ready for a journey through the darkest depths of the UFC lightweight division? From the most savage knockouts to the most brutal submissions and beatdowns, we're about to take a look at some of the scariest fighters in history. The first fighter on the list, Khabib Nurmagomedov, considered to be the best lightweight to ever enter the octagon. We wouldn't create this list without adding the undefeated Dagestani. Before claiming the UFC lightweight title, Khabib went on a streak of 9 straight wins in the UFC. He faced the likes of Rafael dos Anjos, Michael Johnson, and Edson Barboza, who he absolutely obliterated and threw around the octagon. Although he was always willing to fight anybody, at any time, and any place, his opponents didn't feel the same way.
Send me a message, hey, come here, this place, and that's it. Without security, without UFC, without nothing.
Every time Khabib would enter the octagon, he brought an unusually aggressive and high-paced type of wrestling style that his opponents didn't seem to have an answer to. Along the way to the title, he dealt with various injuries and layoffs that took him out of the game for multiple years, giving other lightweights some relief in the hope they'll be able to avoid the Dagestani fighter, who was dominant all along the way. Next up on our list is Tony Ferguson, also known as El Cucuy, the boogeyman himself. Ferguson was renowned for being able to take a lot of punishment while still managing to stay calm and collected during fights. He often employed unorthodox techniques such as wild spinning elbows or flying knees, which made him an unpredictable threat inside the octagon. Some of the worst beatdowns recorded in UFC history came from fighting the El Cucuy. Known for slicing and damaging his opponents, Ferguson sheared fear amongst other lightweights. Any fighter entering the octagon with him was almost certain to leave it with stitches and covered in blood. His impressive 12-fight winning streak from 2011 to 2018 cemented his status as one of the scariest fighters ever seen in the UFC lightweight division. The third fighter on our list is Charles Oliveira. Making his debut in 2010 at only 20 years of age, he built himself as a true fighter inside the UFC cages. After putting his mental toughness and fighting skills in place, he went on a run of 8 straight victories before becoming a UFC lightweight champion, and one of the biggest stars coming from Brazil. Oliveira holds multiple UFC records, notably the most submission wins in the organization's history at 16, and most finishes at 19, making him the most feared jiu-jitsu fighter on the roster. His unique combination of striking precision, knockout power, and threats from the ground make him an incredibly dangerous fighter to face off against. In the fourth place, we have Justin Gaethje. Justin is known for his aggressive and exciting fighting style, and every time he enters the cage, fans are guaranteed to have an exciting fight. Although his background is in wrestling, he developed power and speed in both of his hands, making him a threat on the feet and on the ground. What brought him to this list are his leg kicks. He's known for having some of the most lethal and destructive leg kicks we've ever seen in the UFC. Gaethje is known for his ability to take punishment and keep pushing forward, often resulting in brutal slugfests that leave his opponents battered and bloody. Many of his opponents commented on how grueling and exhausting it is to fight him.
Who's the best guy you fought that had kicks like that said, oh man, this is a
Gaethje probably. He partially tore my quad. Gaethje.
Wow.
His fighting style is considered scary by many because of his relentless pressure and willingness to engage in close quarters combat, making him a fan favorite and a feared opponent in the sport of MMA. Finally, we have Islam Makhachev, who is also the current lightweight champion and a longtime training partner of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Just like his childhood friend, Islam was massively avoided throughout his run to the lightweight title. He's been criticized by fans and other fighters for taking easy fights and not challenging himself enough. However, he's pointed out multiple times that he's ready to face off against anybody, but other fighters in his division keep turning him down. He's known for having great wrestling and sambo skills, as well as submissions that can put anyone away at any given time. He has a suffocating top position ground and clinch control against the fence. His only loss came against Adriano Martins at UFC 192 back in 2015, where he suffered a knocked-out finish. Since then, he has gone undefeated winnings in all of his 12 fights, the most recent being against the featherweight champion and #1 pound-for-pound ranked fighter, Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski was also the only fighter to give Makhachev any problems in his long 12-fight winning streak. So there you have it, some of the scariest lightweights ever seen inside the octagon. All fighters have made their mark on MMA history with their impressive records and fighting styles that are sure to leave any opponent trembling before they even enter the octagon. Their respective legacies will live forever within the octagon and within MMA fans around the world. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Also, comment down below what video you want to see next. Until next time.